So I am Reverend Yakubu Muton. I am a pastor with the Church of Christ in Nations. But this is my village. This is Mayanga. Mayanga is in Bokos local government, Plateau State of Nigeria. What really happened here is not only in this village that were affected by this crisis. We're affected by more than 11 villages, which Mayanga happens to be one. And in these villages, it is the same method of attack that was conducted. It's the killing, the maiming of people, slaughtering them, and burning of their houses and their foodstuffs and properties. So by now, by the record we have already collected, we have over 150 people that are killed in one day. That is on the 24th of December. That is, the Christmas was just not a Christmas to us, like to celebrate. It was a mourning Christmas because of what happened to us. As you could see, I'm standing here. This is my house in my village, and I lost everything that was in the house, both foodstuff, clothing, and whatever. It was a furnished house, but it is burnt. And even the church that is by my side was burnt, and the pastorium is burnt. Everything about us here in this village is confused. As you could see, that everything is destroyed. But we thank God that some of us are alive. And at the cost of this, like me now, I lost 7 of my brothers at the cost of this crisis that happened. Thank you.
There's a mathematical formula determining which human tragedies you see and which remain invisible. An algorithm of apathy is silently sorting global suffering into categories, and right now, one of the most severe crises, the systematic targeting of Christians in Nigeria, is being systematically filtered out of your awareness. Welcome to IPOB Rapture Media. What we reveal in the next 10 minutes will expose why this particular pattern of violence has remained in the shadows despite reaching what experts are calling genocide-level intensity. Let me introduce you to the 3 silent gatekeepers that have kept Nigeria's Christian persecution off your screen. These digital guardians work 24/7, filtering reality before it ever has a chance to become your reality. The first gatekeeper is economic inconvenience. Nigeria is Africa's largest economy and a major oil producer. Acknowledging systematic religious persecution would threaten business interests, trade relationships, and diplomatic stability. We've documented how this narrative gets suppressed not by conspiracy, but by pure economic calculus. The second gatekeeper is narrative complexity. The violence against Nigerian Christians doesn't fit a simple storybook pattern. It's not one group against another in a clear geographic battle line. It's multiple actors: Boko Haram, Islamic State West Africa Province, radicalized Fulani militias, all converging on Christian communities from different angles. This complexity becomes an excuse for media outlets to avoid the story altogether, claiming it's too complicated for viewers to understand. The third gatekeeper is political correctness. There's an unspoken fear in Western newsrooms of being accused of Islamophobia if they highlight Muslim on Christian violence. So they default to vague terms like farmer-herder conflicts or communal violence, deliberately stripping the religious targeting from the story. This isn't just semantic games. It's a fundamental distortion of reality that has deadly consequences. Now let me show you how these gatekeepers create what we've termed the Christian Persecution Visibility Index. This isn't theoretical. We've built a predictive model that scores global persecution hotspots based on their likelihood of receiving sustained media coverage. When we apply this model to Nigeria, the results are staggering. Despite having some of the highest violence metrics in the world, it scores among the lowest for media visibility. When we analyzed the data, we discovered something disturbing. The European Parliament reports nearly 17,000 Christians killed in Nigeria between 2019 and 2023. That's approximately 13 Christians murdered every single day for 4 years straight. Yet, when we cross-reference this with major Western media coverage, the correlation was almost non-existent. Some conflicts with far lower casualty rates receive wall-to-wall coverage, while this systematic elimination continues in near-total silence. Let me give you a concrete example from our data tracking. We monitored 2 simultaneous crises over 6 months, one in Ukraine, one in Nigeria's Middle Belt. The Ukrainian conflict received 53 times more coverage in major Western media, despite both involving religious communities facing existential threats. The difference wasn't in the scale of suffering. The difference was in the visibility index score. Now, here's where it gets really concerning. This visibility gap has created a deadly feedback loop. Low visibility means less diplomatic pressure. Less pressure means impunity for perpetrators. Impunity encourages escalation. We've documented how attacks have evolved from isolated incidents to coordinated campaigns targeting entire Christian communities for elimination. But there's another layer most analysts miss. The very architecture of social media amplifies this effect. Platforms are designed to boost content that generates quick engagement, outrage, sympathy, fear. The slow, systematic eradication of Christian communities in Nigeria doesn't trigger algorithmic priority because it lacks the simple, shareable moments that drive viral engagement. We discovered something even more alarming in our research. The Nigerian government has actively participated in this visibility suppression. Official statements consistently downplay the religious dimension, labeling targeted attacks as banditry or resource conflicts. This isn't just misinformation, it's a strategic effort to avoid the international scrutiny that comes with religious persecution designation. Now, let me show you the human cost of this visibility blackout. We conducted field interviews across Nigeria's Middle Belt. Pastors described watching their congregations evaporate, some losing 80% of their members to death or displacement. One church leader told us, "The world saw Rwanda and said, 'Never again.' But they're watching our Rwanda happen in real time and choosing to look away." Here's what gives me hope. The visibility index isn't just a diagnostic tool, it's a prescription for change. By understanding exactly why the Nigerian Christian persecution story gets overlooked, we can develop strategies to overcome the gatekeepers. We've already seen this work with several previously invisible crises that gained traction after applying these insights. Let me share the most important finding from our research. The single biggest predictor of whether persecution gains visibility isn't the death toll, the scale of displacement, or even the brutality of the violence. It's the presence of what we call bridge characters, individuals or groups that Western audiences can easily relate to and understand. Nigerian Christians, despite sharing the same faith as many Westerners, have failed to cross this empathy bridge. This leads me to our major reveal. After analyzing 15 years of persecution data and media coverage patterns, we've identified the exact threshold where invisible persecution becomes visible. It's not about reaching a certain casualty number, it's about achieving what we call narrative critical mass, the precise moment when all three gatekeepers are simultaneously overcome. The implications are profound. This means we can predict with startling accuracy which emerging persecution hotspots will capture global attention and which will languish in obscurity. More importantly, it means we can strategically intervene to boost visibility for the most severe but overlooked emergencies, like what's happening right now in Nigeria. Now, I want to show you how this plays out in real time. The Nigerian Christian persecution has all the elements of a major story. Clear victims and perpetrators, systematic pattern, genocide-level intensity. But it's stuck at what we call the awareness ceiling, known to human rights organizations but invisible to the general public and political leadership. The breaking point comes when what we term the empathy bridge is established. This happens when local stories are framed in ways that overcome the geographic and cultural distance. Our data shows that once this bridge is built for religious persecution, visibility can increase by up to 400% almost overnight. But there's a dangerous catch. The current human rights infrastructure is actually making it harder to build these empathy bridges for Christians. As organizations prioritize certain victim groups over others, religious persecution against Christians faces ever higher barriers to recognition. We're entering what might be called the age of selective outrage. Now, here's what you can do about it. First, become aware of the visibility gap. When you see wall-to-wall coverage of other human rights crises, ask yourself, what similar crises am I not seeing? Second, seek out sources that specifically cover religious persecution. Third, share stories that overcome the empathy gap by highlighting the universal human right to religious freedom. Looking forward, we see this becoming even more critical as artificial intelligence begins to play a larger role in content curation. We risk automating and amplifying these visibility biases against Christian persecution. The algorithms being trained today will determine which religious victims tomorrow's world sees and which remain hidden. This brings me to my final point. The visibility gap isn't just a media problem, it's a moral crisis. When global citizens only see a fraction of the world's religious persecution, how can we make informed decisions about humanitarian aid, asylum policy, or diplomatic intervention? We're making global moral decisions with intentionally limited information. I want to hear from you. Look at your news feed right now. How many stories about the systematic targeting of Christians in Nigeria have you seen this week, this month? Have you noticed certain types of religious persecution consistently receiving less attention? Share your observations in the comments. Your awareness is the first step toward breaking the silence. If this breakdown revealed a crisis you knew little about, your next steps are crucial. First, share this video with 3 people who need to understand why this story has been kept from them. Second, subscribe to IPOB Rapture Media because we're building tools to track religious persecution visibility in real time. Third, check the pinned comment for our documentation of verified attacks against Nigerian Christian communities. This is IPOB Rapture Media. We give you the unfiltered truth. Now go and act. Please don't forget to support the ESN at www.ipob.org.